Hey there friends, Brittany here, board certified holistic health practitioner, and I view everything through a functional medicine perspective. In this video, I am going to explain the dangers of electromagnetic fields, also known as EMFs. So I've done a lot of research, there's tons out there, but Dr. Mercola's book called EMF is probably the best overall explanation. So I'll link his book below. I highly recommend you check it out if you want to dig deeper than what I cover in this video. I'm trying to keep these videos as short as possible for you all. So EMFs are invisible to your eyes and exist in a spectrum of frequencies like radio and TV waves, microwaves, visible light, ultraviolet light, X-rays, and radioactive elements. There are natural EMFs and there are man-made EMFs. So sunlight and lightning are examples of natural EMFs, while man-made EMFs are the obvious, like cell phones and microwaves and Wi-Fi routers and those things. And many might not know that your body also has a magnetic field as well. So there are tons of different EMFs and each has its own frequency, and the frequency is measured in units called hertz. So these fields can be separated into two groups: ionizing and non-ionizing radiation. So ions are damaging because they produce free radicals, and when produced in excess, that is when it's problematic for your health and it damages your DNA. The non-ionizing radiation is said to be safe since it doesn't create ions, but we now know that it damages through other mechanisms. So both of these groups damage DNA just through different ways. So the safety standards are dangerously flawed. Even telecommunications executives admit they've done no safety studies. So you have to remember, guys, that the tobacco industry purposefully lied to the public for decades. There was enough evidence in the 1950s of scientific evidence of the harm, but it took 50 years for people to wake up, and then finally smoking rates started to drop. So there is a real thing called funding biased research, when scientists are paid directly to perform the studies. So the tobacco company was able to hand select researchers that were already biased toward believing cigarettes were safe. So history is repeating itself again, but now with Wi-Fi. So the Bioinitiative Working Group, which consists of MDs and PhDs and other leading experts, released a 650-page report that contains 1,800 new studies on the health effects. So I listed that link below, and another link that I will post below is the link that will take you to 30,000 studies on the EMF portal. So tons of information out there, guys, and the science to back it up. There was also a study done on 13,000 pregnant women where some used cell phones and the others did not. So the mothers that did use cell phones experienced a 49% increase in behavioral problems and 35% increase in hyperactivity in their children. So we really need to treat EMFs as an environmental toxin, guys. So we have to learn to live with it and be aware and control your exposure. So some can physically feel the effect of EMFs and some cannot. But that doesn't change the fact that we are all affected by them. So some people are extremely sensitive to EMFs and would be considered to have electro-hypersensitivity. I would probably consider myself as one of those individuals because I can literally physically feel symptoms when Wi-Fi is on in my house or just around other EMF sources. So these people will experience physical symptoms quickly, quite quickly, like headaches and insomnia, fatigue, heart palpitations, sensations of skin prickling. Skin prickling is something that I feel, and once I turn off the Wi-Fi, it subsides and it is gone pretty quick. So it's it's pretty wild. So EMFs, guys, it affects your brain, your gut, your immune system. EMFs that run through your body wreak havoc on your health. So from the impulses that make your heart beat to the electrical activity in your brain, you run on electricity. So that's why this is so crucial. So how do EMFs affect your body on the cellular level? It starts with your calcium, which is the most abundant mineral in the body. So you use about 98% of your calcium for teeth and bone strength, but it also does so much more, like cell signaling and regulating enzyme and protein functions, muscle contraction, blood clotting, nerve functions, cell growth, learning and memory, so many things, guys. So calcium is tightly regulated and controlled. It's a very special, delicate process of how it is tightly regulated and controlled. And calcium is found more outside of the cells than inside. And when you are exposed to EMFs, this balance is thrown off, which leads to cellular damage and health issues. So when you have excess calcium in your mitochondria, it will inhibit proper production of ATP and also increases oxidative stress. So I will have to make another video to explain to you guys the importance of your mitochondria, but that alone, I am telling you, is crucial to your overall health. Seriously, guys, the health of your mitochondria alone is worth protecting yourself from excessive EMFs. I cannot stress that enough. So the excess release in your cells increases your risk of diseases and cancer and premature aging because of the increase in the free radicals. So in Dr. McCullough's book, he goes on to explain that nitric oxide and superoxide are produced when calcium is rushed into the cells. And when these two free radicals combine, they produce one of the most damaging free radicals called peroxynitrite. So, and peroxynitrite can damage nearly every important tissue in your body, like cell membranes, proteins, mitochondria, stem cells, and DNA. So, without saying specific names to avoid being flagged, I made a video a week or two ago and it got taken down. So I'm just going to say that the higher up agencies that are supposed to regulate all of this want you to believe that the science is settled and wireless exposures are safe. So this is not the case, and EMFs can manifest in many ways, like decreased sperm counts leading to infertility, impaired sleep as it reduces your melatonin, disrupts your intestinal barrier. And I'm going to stop right there at intestinal barrier because when you have a chronically inflamed gut, that leads to chronic illness. So I truly believe that most disease begins in the gut. So we have to protect our intestinal barrier, our gut microbiome, you guys. So it also causes anxiety, depression. Radiation can disrupt your blood-brain barrier and cause neurodegenerative conditions. It increases your toxin absorption, affects your mood and your heart health. It affects everything, whether you want to believe it or not. And I was one to think it wasn't a big deal. I kind of just pushed it to the side. I knew it was damaging, but it was like one of the last things I just wanted to deal with, I guess, until I started feeling the physical effects of it myself, and then I did more research. So I now know that you will not be able to achieve true health unless you limit your exposure to EMFs. So it doesn't matter how clean and healthy you eat and how you limit your toxins, this is vital, you guys. So I'm hoping that this will help you and your family lower your health risks. So 5G is literally an explosion of new antennas. So these new antennas have never been tested for long-term safety on humans. Some of the frequencies that come with 5G are called millimeter waves. And scientists describe these satellites as a flooding of the planet with microwave radiation, and it's pretty much a violation of human rights. So physical symptoms that people may notice with 5G can be coldness, paralysis, hallucinations, and pain. So millimeter waves have also been linked to eye problems and heart rate issues and suppress immune function, effects on bacteria that suppresses the good bugs and increases the antibiotic resistant bugs. So again, that intestinal barrier, gut microbiome, your immune system, all of these things. So you guys need to realize that there are countries that passed laws to minimize exposure to Wi-Fi in schools and set radio frequency limits that are 10,000 times lower than the US. So the evidence is overwhelmingly there, providing the health hazards that it brings, so especially to the youth. So please don't take my word for it. Do your due diligence and research yourself. I have a lot of links posted below if you want to check those out. There is a way to protect yourself and eliminate the symptoms of EMF exposure. So I will be making another video on those ways to lower your EMF exposure. So keep a lookout for that one. Love you guys.